You don't overspend because you're irresponsible. You overspend because your brain is running ancient software in a world that was built to exploit it. The good news? Once you can see exactly how it works, you can finally fight back. And you won't need more willpower to do it. You'll need a better system. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can know everything about budgeting, you can genuinely want to save, and you can still watch your money quietly disappear month after month. That's not a character flaw. It's the predictable result of a brain designed for a world that no longer exists, colliding with an economy engineered to separate you from your money as smoothly as possible. So let's break down the forces working against you and the simple way to turn each one around. The first force is the tug of war between your present self and your future self. Your brain is wired to favor the version of you that exists right now over the version that exists in 20 years. A reward today feels vivid and real. A benefit decades from now feels abstract and fuzzy. Researchers call this present bias, and it is powerful. If I offered you $100 today, or $120 next month, most people grab the 100 now, even though waiting would be a better return than almost any investment on earth. This is exactly why saving feels like sacrifice, and spending feels like relief. You're not really trading money for stuff. You're trading your distant, blurry future self for a clear, glowing reward in the present. The second force is friction, or really, the lack of it. Modern spending has been engineered to be as frictionless as humanly possible. Saved cards, one-click checkout, buy now, pay later, tap to pay. Every one of those conveniences quietly removes a moment where you might have paused and reconsidered. Think about the old way of buying something. You had to find your wallet, pull out the cash, count it, hand it over, and physically watch it leave your hands. That friction hurt a little, and that little bit of pain protected you. Today, a purchase can happen in under 2 seconds, before the rational part of your brain even gets a vote. The easier it is to spend, the more you spend. That's not an accident. It's a design choice, and it is working exactly as intended. The third force is emotional spending. Buying something delivers a small, fast hit of relief, a little spark of anticipation and control. So your brain learns to reach for it whenever a difficult feeling shows up. Stressful day? Treat yourself. Bored on the couch? Browse and buy? Celebrating something good? Spend to mark the moment. The purchase works for about as long as it takes to arrive, and then the original feeling comes right back, except now you're a little poorer too. The problem was never the emotion. The problem is the habit of answering every emotion with a transaction. Once you notice the pattern, you can't unsee it. The cart is full, but the feeling underneath it was never about the stuff. So here's the part that actually changes things. You can't delete these instincts. They are ancient, and they run deep. But you can design your life so they stop costing you. The whole strategy comes down to one idea. Put friction where you're weak and remove friction where you're strong. Start by adding friction to spending. Delete your saved cards, so every purchase forces you to stop and re-enter the number. That tiny pause quietly kills a surprising number of impulse buys. Impose a simple 24-hour rule on anything non-essential. If you still want it tomorrow, fine, but most cravings simply evaporate overnight. Unsubscribe from the marketing emails and turn off the one-tap buttons. You are rebuilding the speed bumps that the modern economy worked so hard to remove. Then do the exact opposite for saving. Remove all the friction. Automate it. So a fixed amount moves into savings or investing the day you get paid, before you ever see it or feel it. When the money is gone before you can spend it, you adapt to living on the rest. And the saving happens whether or not you're feeling disciplined that week. Willpower is a battery that drains throughout the day. Automation never gets tired, never has a bad day, and never talks itself into just this once. And finally, make your future self vivid. Present bias wins when the future is blurry, so refuse to leave it blurry. Don't save toward someday. Save toward a goal with a real name and a real number. A 3-month emergency cushion, a specific dollar figure, a date. The more concrete and emotional that future becomes, the more your brain treats it like something worth protecting today. You are using the very same wiring that causes overspending to instead pull you toward the thing you actually want. Put it all together and the shift is striking. Imagine someone who redirects even $50 a week away from autopilot purchases and into investing instead. That's around $200 a month, and over a few decades at historical market returns, that quiet, redirected money can grow into a 6-figure sum. Same person, same income. The only thing that changed was where the friction lived. They didn't become more disciplined. They built a better system and let the system carry the discipline for them. That's the real takeaway. Overspending isn't a moral failing, and beating it isn't about white-knuckling your way through temptation. It's about understanding that your brain favors now over later, that the world is built to make spending effortless, and that feelings quietly get converted into purchases, and then engineering around all three. Add friction where you're weak, automate where you're strong, and make the future something you can actually see. If this gave you a new way to look at your own spending, subscribe. Every week, we break down how money really works, with no hype and no jargon. And grab the free net worth tracker linked in the description to put a real number on the future you're building toward. Just remember, this channel is for education only and is not financial advice. The figures here are illustrative examples, not promises. I'll see you in the next one.